Hi, I'm Carole Herder, president of Cavallo. When I founded this company in 1993, I had one question on my mind. How can I make this industry a better place for horses and the people who ride them? Now, we've all heard the adage, no hoof, no horse. But what does that really mean? Well, our horses are prey animals, which means that their survival mechanism is based upon their ability to flee, which means they have to run far and fast. They have to be able to do that. And that means they need a healthy hoof. Now, when this hoof bears weight, it's sandwiched between all that weight coming down and the ground. And the coffin bone is meant to drop like a trampoline to absorb the shock and the weight. In order for that to happen, the heels spread apart and draw the sole flat so that the sole gets out of the way of the descending bone column. Now, you may have heard it said that a horse has 5 hearts. What that means is 1 in the chest and 4 on the ground. And the 4 on the ground are the frogs, and they have 2 extremely important functions. Not only do they spread the heels apart and draw the sole flat so that the sole gets out of the way of the descending weight, but they pump blood. They pump blood through all the coriums and live tissue of the hoof, which means it provides nutrition and healthy growth to all the live tissue. Back up into the heart, the circulatory system. Very important. Now, what do? We pick the hoof up in its smallest, most contracted state, which means it's not weight-bearing, it's not expanded, and we nail a metal shoe on, and we hold the hoof in that place. So that means that the heel's not expanding, the weight's not allowed to descend, the blood's not circulating because the frogs aren't making contact in the ground. And thirdly, metal is a very hard substance, isn't it? I mean, bang it against a hard surface and you'll feel the vibration up your structure. So not only are we inhibiting the function of the hoof, but we're sending shock back up the structure. So a couple of things happen. Well, first of all, if the hoof isn't able to bear weight the way it's meant to, where is the shock absorbed? In the sensitive tissue of the hoof. And that's where you get your navicular, laminitis, pedal osteitis, those kinds of things. Or further up the structure, bony changes, calcifications, ring bone, side bone, splints, arthritis. And when blood's not circulating properly, you're going to get thrush and bacterial buildup and seedy toe and that sort of thing. Now, please see this video clip. It's developed by the Swedish Hoof School, and it's done with a hydraulic press and colored water. It is an actual cadaver, but it's emulating what happens when the hoof bears weight. Now, this is about an average size horse, so it's about 1,000 pounds of weight being exerted on the hoof. And you can see the heels spreading apart. You can see the frog making contact with the ground to spread those heels apart, and in so doing, pumping the blood, and of course the nutrients in the blood through all the coriums and live tissue of the hoof. Now, this is a natural, healthy, functioning hoof, which is when you've got metal nailed in, this function would be inhibited. The second half of this video is going to show you what happens when an additional 200 pounds weight is loaded onto the hoof. And that's the average weight of rider and tack, which also translates to about 20% of the horse's body weight. So you can see how much more pressure is exerted on that hoof. You can see the frog compressing into the ground, drawing the sole flat, pulling those heels apart, and absorbing shock. Now, which hoof do you think has the metal shoes nailed onto it? Yeah, the blue one, of course. No blood circulation, no nutrients in the blood, no proper hoof function. So it's really time to think different. Why nail metal into live tissue? Why create concussion or inhibit blood circulation? Why not provide total comfort, security, and protection for your equine friends? It's time to think different.